I'm very proud that Beeston Clark Glass manufactures right in the heart of my constituency and have been for 270 years. They directly employ 2,000 when you look at their supply chain. Glass can be cycled almost infinitely. Currently, almost 74% of glass is recycled, and 80% of that comes from curbside collections. I recently met Beeston Clark and the British Glass representatives, and both expressed grave concerns regarding the impact of this government's current policies on the glass sector. DEFRA's own latest figures show that glass containers placed on the market are seeing a reduction of 23% in 2024 compared to earlier estimates. With increased pressures from imported glass, the outlook for UK manufacturers is indeed grim. UK glass manufacturers are already under severe pressure. The failure to introduce tariffs on imported glass, predominantly from Turkey, has left the industry facing punishing competition from overseas producers who have significantly lower energy costs and no carbon charges. While the move towards a circular economy as part of environmental improvements is laudable, it will ultimately be futile if the outcome is dependent on foreign imports with no such environmental impact mitigations in place. So can the Minister confirm if imported glass will face the same EPR and who would be liable to pay it?
I wish to give way. So thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. She has raised this with me prior to the debate, and I have checked with my officials, and I'm happy to confirm that the person who places the product on the market from wherever in the world it comes, whether it's made in the UK or purchased from abroad, will be responsible for paying these fees on glass bottles, on EPR fees. Yeah.
I rise happier than when I sat down. Thank you very, very much to the Minister for that. The sector has legitimate concerns that the DRS scheme would lead to poor environmental outcomes, with less recycled glass going back to remelt, as it would likely be crushed in the process, thus rendering it unsuitable for its purpose. It would also cause storage and safety issues for both consumers and retailers, especially smaller shops. The Republic of Ireland did not include glass in their scheme. It's important to point out that a DRS scheme is not a reuse scheme, it is a collection scheme. Many people reminisce about the old deposit scheme that the UK had, but this was a deposit refill scheme, which is completely different to the proposed DRS scheme. Wales has achieved a 90% glass collection rate from curbside collection without the need of DRS and are ranked second in the world for recycling. Following the recent announcement by the Welsh Government to withdraw from the Four Nations DRS scheme and re-examine its scope, it seems to me and many others that DRS will be ineffective across the UK. So, Minister, what consideration has been given to the Welsh blueprint for collection, which would be the simplest way to improve recycling rates? With the money local authorities are receiving from extended producer responsibility, it is a deep shame the Government are not encouraging them to use this to improve collection quality. The glass sector supports the principle behind the extended producer responsibility, but sees the excessively high EPR fees on glass packaging as punishment for speaking out. Germany is often quoted, included by DEFRA, as a good example of an EPR scheme, yet its glass fees are over 10 times less than in the UK, at €28 per tonne, compared to €240 per tonne indicative figures recently announced by DEFRA. In my discussions with the Minister last Monday, she did confirm that the final EPR figures will be likely not finalised until June. How, though, is a business meant to budget on that basis? I urge the Minister to take a serious look at the indicative figures and see if they cannot be reduced dramatically, or we will lose the most recyclable sector. Currently, per unit, glass is facing significantly higher fees than less recyclable, less circular materials. This goes against everything other government policies are trying to achieve, and I would ask the Minister if they're really confident that the EPR policy and other waste policies will lead to more recyclable packaging in the UK. Further, the delay to DRS means there is a 2.5-year period when glass beverage containers will be paying EPR fees and competing beverage containers will not, due to being in DRS. Put bluntly, this government is driving businesses to less recyclable packaging like plastic in those 2.5 years. It was never intended that EPR would be in place before DRS, and it leaves glass at a huge competitive disadvantage in the beverage market, which makes up 80% of the glass market. Given the history and the uncertainty that still exists around DRS, it's vital that all materials pay EPR fees until DRS is fully functional to create a level playing field for all beverage packaging. There is a backstop for 2028, but can I ask the Minister if there's any evidence that will be, to clarify if the backstop fees will be backdated to April this year when EPR launches? Thank you.